अथ चतुर्थोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच इमं विवस्वते योगं प्रोक्तवानहमव्ययं विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह मनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत्।
Shri Bhagavan said, I revealed this immortal yoga to Vivaswan. Vivaswan conveyed it to his son Manu, and Manu imparted it to his son Ishwaku.
एवं परम्परा प्राप्तम् इमं राजर्षयो विदुः सकाले नेह महता योगो नष्टः परन्तप।
Thus, transmitted in succession from father to son, Arjuna, this yoga remained known to the Rajarshis. Through the long lapse of time, this yoga has got lost to the world.
स एवायं मया तेद्य योगः प्रोक्तः पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं ह्येतदुत्तमम्।
The same ancient yoga, which is a supreme secret, has this day been imparted to you by me, because you are my devotee and friend.
Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma paranjanma vivasvatah kathametad vijaniyam tvamadau proktavaniti.
Arjuna said, you are of recent origin, while the birth of Vivaswan dates back to remote antiquity. How then am I to believe that you imparted this yoga at the beginning of creation?
Shri Bhagavan uvacha bahuni me vyatitani janmani tava charjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vetha parantapa.
Shri Bhagavan said, Arjuna, you and I have passed through many births. I remember them all. You do not remember, O chastier of foes.
Ajopi sannavyayatma bhutanamishvaropi san prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavamyatma mayaya.
Though birthless and immortal and the Lord of all beings, I manifest myself through my own yoga maya, keeping my nature under control.
Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham.
Arjuna, whenever righteous is on the decline, unrighteous is in the ascendant, then I body myself forth.
Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge.
For the protection of the virtuous, for the extirpation of evildoers, and for establishing dharma or righteousness on a firm footing, I am born from age to age.
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna.
Arjuna, my birth and activities are divine. He who knows this in reality is not reborn on leaving his body, but comes to me.
Vitaragha bhaya krodha manmaya mabupashritaha bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavamagataha.
Completely rid of attachment, fear and anger, wholly absorbed in me, depending on me, and purified by the penance of wisdom, Many have become one with me even in the past.
ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्यहं मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः.
Arjuna, howsoever men seek me, even so do I approach them. For all men follow my path in every way.
काङ्क्षतः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त इह देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा.
In this world of human beings, men seeking the fruition of their activities worship the gods. For success born of actions follows quickly.
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्य कर्तारमव्ययम्.
The four orders of society, namely the Brahmana, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and the Shudra, were created by me, classifying them according to the gunas predominant in each, and assigning corresponding duties to them. Though the originator of creation know me, the immortal Lord, to be a non-doer.
न मां कर्माणि लिम्पन्ति न मे कर्मफले स्पृहा इति मां योऽभिजानाति कर्मभिर्न स बध्यते.
Since I have no craving for the fruit of actions, actions do not contaminate me. Even he who thus knows me in reality is not bound by actions.
एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतम्.
Having known thus, action was performed even by the ancient seekers for liberation. Therefore, do perform actions as have been performed by the ancient from antiquity.
किं कर्म किमकर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्.
What is action and what is inaction? Even men of intelligence are puzzled over this question. Therefore, I shall expound to you the truth about action, knowing which you will be freed from its evil effect and binding nature.
कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः.
The truth about action must be known, and the truth of inaction must also be known. Even so, the truth about prohibited action must be known. For mysterious are the ways of action.
कर्मण्य कर्मयः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्न कर्मकृत्.
He who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is wise among men. He is a yogi who has performed all actions.
यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पण्डितं बुधाः.
Even the wise call him a sage, whose undertakings are all free from desire and thoughts of the world, and whose actions are burnt up by the fire of wisdom.
त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः.
He who, having totally given up attachment to actions and their fruit, no longer depends on the world and is ever content, does nothing at all, though fully engaged in action.
निराशीर्यत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त सर्वपरिग्रहः शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्.
Having subdued his mind and body and given up all objects of enjoyment and free from craving, he who performs sheer bodily action does not incur sin.
यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टो द्वन्द्वातीतो विमत्सरः समसिद्धावसिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते.
The karma yogi who is contented with whatever is got unsought is free from jealousy and has transcended all pairs of opposites like joy and grief, and is balanced in success and failure, is not bound by his action.
गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते.
All his actions get dissolved entirely, who is free from attachment and has no identification and no sense of mine with the body, whose mind is established in the knowledge of self, and who works merely for the sake of sacrifice.
ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविर् ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना.
In the practice of seeing Brahma everywhere as a form of sacrifice, Brahma is the ladle with which the oblation is poured into the fire. Brahma again is the oblation. Brahma is the fire. Brahma itself is the sacrificer, and so Brahma itself constitutes the act of pouring the oblation into the fire. And finally, Brahma is the goal to be reached by him who is absorbed in Brahma as the act of such sacrifice.
दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते ब्रह्माज्ञावपरे यज्ञं यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति.
Other yogis duly offer sacrifice only in the shape of worship to gods. Others pour into the fire of Brahma the very sacrifice in the shape of the self through the sacrifice, known as perception of identity.
श्रोत्रादीनीन्द्रियाण्यन्ये संयमाग्निषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन् विषयानन्य इन्द्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति.
Others offer as sacrifice their senses of hearing into the fires of self-discipline. Other yogis again offer sound and other objects of perception into the fires of the senses.
सर्वाणीन्द्रियकर्माणि प्राणकर्माणि चापरे आत्मसंयमयोगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते.
Others sacrifice all the functions of their senses and the functions of the vital airs into the fire of yoga in the shape of self-control, kindled by wisdom.
द्रव्ययज्ञास्तपोयज्ञा योगयज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्यायज्ञानयज्ञाश्च यतयः संशितव्रताः.
Some perform sacrifice with material possessions. Some offer sacrifice in the shape of austerities. Others sacrifice through the practice of yoga, while some striving souls observe austere vows, perform sacrifice in the shape of wisdom through the study of sacred texts.
अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे प्राणापानगतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे नियताहारः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति सर्वप्येते यज्ञविदो यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः.
Other yogis offer the act of exhalation into that of inhalation. Even so, others the act of inhalation into that of exhalation. There are still others given to the practice of pranayam or breath control, who having regulated their diet and controlled the processes of exhalation and inhalation, pour their vital airs into the vital airs themselves. All these have their sins consumed away by sacrifice and understand the meaning of sacrificial worship.
यज्ञशिष्टामृतभुजो यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनं नायं लोकोऽस्त्ययज्ञस्य कुतोऽन्यः कुरु सत्तमा.
Arjuna, yogis who enjoy the nectar that has been left over after the performance of a sacrifice attain the eternal Brahma. To the man who does not offer sacrifice, even this world is not happy. How then can the other world be happy?
एवं बहुविधा यज्ञा वितता ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विद्धि तान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे.
Many such forms of sacrifice have been set forth in detail in the Vedas. Know them all as involving the action of mind, senses, and body. Thus, knowing the truth about them, you shall be freed from the bondage of action through their performance.
श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयाद्यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते.
Arjuna, sacrifice through knowledge is superior to sacrifice performed with material things. O son of Kunti, all actions without exception culminate in knowledge.
तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः.
Understand the true nature of that knowledge by approaching illuminated soul. If you prostrate at their feet, render them service, and question them with an open and guileless heart, those wise seers of truth will instruct you in that knowledge.
यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् एवं यास्यसि पाण्डव येन भूतान्यशेषेण द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन्यथो मयि.
Arjuna, when you have achieved enlightenment, ignorance will delude you no more. In the light of that knowledge, you will see the entire creation, first within your own self, and then in me, the Oversoul.
अपि चेदसि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि.
Even though you were the most sinful of all sinners, this knowledge alone would carry you like a raft across all your sins.
यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निर्भस्मसात् कुरुतेऽर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा.
For as the blazing fire turns the fuel into ashes, Arjuna, even so the fire of knowledge turns all actions into ashes.
नहि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्ध कालेनात्मनि विन्दति.
On earth there is no purifier as great as knowledge. He who has attained purity of heart through prolonged practice of karma yoga automatically sees the light of the truth in the self in course of time.
श्रद्धावान् लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति.
He who has mastered his senses is exclusively devoted to his practice and is full of faith, attains knowledge. Having had the revelation of truth, he immediately attains supreme peace in the form of God realization.
अज्ञश्चाश्रद्दधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परो न सुखं संशयात्मनः.
He who lacks discrimination is devoid of faith and is at the same time possessed by doubt, is lost to the spiritual path. For the doubting soul, there is neither this world nor the world beyond, nor even happiness.
योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणं ज्ञानसञ्छिन्नसंशयम् आत्मवन्तन्न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय.
Arjuna, actions do not bind him, who has dedicated all his actions to God according to the spirit of Karma Yoga, whose doubts have been dispelled by wisdom and is self-possessed.
तस्मादज्ञानसम्भूतं हृत्स्थं ज्ञानासीनात्मनः चित्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भारत.
Therefore, Arjuna, slashing to pieces with the sword of wisdom this doubt in your heart, born of ignorance, establish yourself in Karma Yoga in the shape of even-mindedness and stand up for the fight.
ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे ज्ञानकर्मसन्न्यासयोगो नाम 4थोऽध्यायः.